Good evening and welcome to the first of two meetings tonight. My name is Dennis Buckley, Mayor of the City of Beech Grove, and at this time we will convene our Board of Sanitation meeting for Monday, September the 17th, 2018. In lieu of a roll call, I will ask each participant to introduce themselves, beginning on my far right.
Dave Harrison.
Dan McMillan, Clerk Treasurer.
Craig Wiley, City Attorney.
Sandy Seward.
Thank you, Board. You have been given a printed copy of the minutes of the previous meeting dated Monday, September the 4th, 2018. The floor is open for any questions, comments, or corrections.
I have none.
I have none, thank you.
No questions, comments, or corrections. I'll ask for a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
I'll make said motion.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I also vote aye, and the motion carries. This evening, Board, we have 3 pages of wastewater claims in the amount of $111,317.33. Floor is open for any questions or comments.
Have done.
I have none.
There's no questions or comments. I'll ask for a motion to approve the wastewater claims dated September the 17th, 2018 in the amount of $111,317.33.
I'll make said motion.
I second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I also vote aye, and the motion carries. We have no unfinished business to carry over from the previous meeting. We have no new business this evening. Comments from board members?
I have none.
I have none.
No comments. I'll ask for a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make said
Second.
The meeting is adjourned at 6:02 p.m. We will convene the Board of Public Works and Safety meeting within the next 5 minutes. Thank you. Good evening and welcome to the second and last meeting tonight. My name is Dennis Buckley, Mayor of the City of Beech Grove, and at this time we will convene our Board of Public Works and Safety meeting for Monday, September the 17th, 2018. In lieu of a roll call, I will ask each participant to introduce themselves, beginning on my far right.
Dave Harrison.
Dan McMillan, Clerk Treasurer.
Craig Wiley, City Attorney.
Sandy Seward.
Thank you, Board. You have been presented a printed copy of the minutes of the previous meeting dated Monday, September the 4th, 2018. Floor is open for any questions, comments, or corrections.
I have none, thank you.
I have none.
No questions, comments, or corrections. I'll ask for a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
I'll make said motion.
I second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 I vote aye as well, and the motion carries. Thank you. This evening, Board, we have 27 pages of corporate claims in the amount of $869,313.59. The floor is open for any questions or comments.
I had none.
I have none.
I have a couple things that I want to point out. On page 1, the very first 3, this was the refurb of an ambulance. You want to go? Do you remember? Want to go through it, Dan? It's just, I just want to point out that we have rechassied another ambulance and then bought a new cot, and it's done. They're in training right now with it, and then it'll be placed in service. But it's a substantial investment that the city made, paid for it by check, and we saved, I don't know how much by doing this rather than buying a new ambulance. So I just want to say kudos to the clerk, the Board of Works, the fire department, all those who were involved in this, because this is a beautiful machine, and when you see it out and about, you will really think something of it. But I just wanted to point that out, because I think this is, Rob, the 3rd or 4th one we've done.
This is the 3rd refurbished truck that we've done.
So I just wanted to thank everyone involved. And on page 3, the CAS, the accreditation of ambulance services, $7,500 that we paid. We are only one, I don't know how many in the state that are nationally accredited from an EMS standpoint.
We were the first fire department to become nationally accredited, and we remain one of the few fire departments within the state of Indiana to maintain that certification.
So I take it that that's coming up pretty soon.
Yes, once they receive the check, they will schedule our on-site visit.
Okay, I just wanted to point that out because that's something we've done for quite a while now, and it's important for the professionalism of the fire department. So I wanted to point those two things out. So if there's not any other questions or comments, I'll ask for a motion to approve the corporate claims dated September 17th, 2018, in the amount of $869,313.59.
I'll make said motion.
I second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 I also vote aye, and the motion carries. Under old business this evening, Board, we have one letter that I wanted to, we don't have to vote on, I just wanted to publicly tell everyone that at the last board meeting, the board approved closing Bell Fountain at 9th for a small gathering. As a result of last weekend's weather, the event was canceled. The occupants would like to reschedule this event for Sunday, September 16th, 2018, from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. The board will not meet prior to this change, so I phoned both board members and they agreed to approve the new date. We have contacted the occupants and advised them that their request was approved. I wanted to disclose this for public record. They did have the event and it went out and it went well. They got rained out the date that we approved the road closure, so I just wanted to make that publicly aware that they did do it, and I did speak with Sandy and Dave, and they were respectful to their request, so that did happen. So, on to new business. We have two items tonight. One is a bid opening, and the clerk and the fire department advertised for new SCBA system and breathing air system. So put bids out, and then tonight we are prepared to open the bids only. There'll be no awarding of the bids. So I'll defer to Sandy to open the bids and read into the record the amounts.
And the first one is from Hoosier Fire Equipment Incorporated.
What does it say on the bottom?
Self-contained breathing apparatus.
Oh, SCBA, okay.
Okay. And their bid is for $266,688. $266,688.
Thank you.
And the next one is from Pro Air. This is for the breathing air compressor. The total cost their bid is $52,000. And the next one is Hoosier Fire Equipment. This is for the breathing air cylinder fill station. And this bid is for $46,988.
Chief, come on up. And what we ask you to do is just review all the bids and make sure everything's correct, and we'll take a recommendation from you at the next meeting on October 1st.
Great, thank you.
Thanks, Sandy. Next order of business is a Covanta Disposal Service Agreement. Brad?
Good evening, Board. This is kind of become an annual thing with Covanta. We went quite a few years with no increase, and it seems like for the last 4 or 5, it's been every year now. So this is a 2% increase, real standard as far as the language of the agreement, and it's going to go up 65 cents. So this rate will go from $32.74 up to $33.39 for 2019. And we've just been doing them in 1-year increments. There were times in the past when we did it in 2 years, but we really didn't see a significant advantage to doing that because you're tying in an increase for both years where you could roll the dice and potentially have no increase the next year. So I think that's what we've decided to do in the past. Happy to answer any questions. It's an online signature thing where I just, once you guys approve it, if you see fit, then I go in generally the next day, which would be tomorrow, and just get on their website and digitally sign it, and then we're good to go.
When I got this, I asked you what the fiscal impact was to our ratepayers. And you remember what the rate increase would be? I mean, as far as dollar amount, what it would be?
Yeah, it was $2,856 annually. We had last year 4,394 tons, so at 65 cents, right at about $2,800.
And will we get something from landfill, the Southside landfill as well, or is this it?
Theirs is a little bit less. It's not something that you can really count on each year. They up their rates occasionally, but it's sort of hit and miss as to when they do it. They're higher, actually. They're in like the $36 range. So Covanta is still under them. I haven't seen as many increases to the landfill, but usually every year or two they'll throw one out there. But it's definitely not on a schedule. It's just kind of hit or miss as to when they decide to advertise that they're increasing the rate.
Okay. Board have any questions or comments?
No.
If not, I'll ask for a motion to allow our Public Works Director enter into agreement with Covanta for 2019 rates.
I second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I also vote aye, and the motion carries. Any update? Can you give us an update on the trash truck?
Yeah, it was supposed to be done at Kenworth, which they were putting a lift axle on, and back to sites early this week for, they were finishing up the camera system, and they were getting the graphics done. So, and there was some tipper work. So they were hoping to have it to us this week. That is what we've been told. And then I know initially we were going to notify the insurance, and then I need to let you know the actual date, I guess, that it rolled in on the property. So hopefully this week, that should be the plan. And then on the next one, we're going to order it in October, and we're ordering it through a different Kenworth dealer to avoid, hopefully, the problems that we've had on this one.
Yeah, this one took a bit too long to get.
Yeah, they initially told us we would have it in April. So And a little bit of it was out of their hands. Some of it was due to the manufacturer. There were some issues with safety ratings and things they had to change, but I still felt like there were some things about it that could have gone a little smoother. So we're going to work around that next time.
All right. Thank you, Brad.
Thanks.
The last order of business under new business, the Eagles motorcycle ride. The Eagles Lodge holds a motorcycle ride in conjunction with the Fall Festival each year. As in years past, the Eagles Lodge has requested Main Street be closed from 7th to 8th from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. on the Saturday of the festival. The request came in after our last meeting, and the event will take place before we meet again. So I reached out to the police chief and both board members for their thoughts, and all three have approved the request. So they did in fact have the ride, and it went off without a hitch. And there's not a whole lot we could do about it. I wanted to disclose this publicly, that we discussed this. And we would have heard it at the last meeting, but they didn't get their request in. So I just wanted to disclose that publicly. And that concludes new business, but there's a couple items that I wanted to talk about. Mark Rim in compliance sent all of us an email concerning the elevator annual fee for the elevator here and at the community center. It was last inspected in 17, but Dan and I talked about it this morning. I don't know what happened. It didn't get inspected in 17 and 18 yet. And then we haven't paid our fees for 17 and 18. And I was under the impression that the state automatically would come out and inspect the elevator. But I don't know. We'll have to come up with something. But Mark Rim called him this morning. They're going to send us an invoice to catch us back up, which they should. We're not any better than anybody else. And then Dan and I talked about getting the state to come out on an annual basis, unannounced or announced, to do the inspection at both things. So I just wanted to pass that on to you. So I don't want to duck any rules. But that's where we're at right now. So once we see the invoice and pay it, then they'll come out for the inspection. I think Dan agrees. I wish they would come out, get it on a regular schedule, come out, so we don't have to worry about it, and then we just pay the fees just like everybody else.
And just one comment on that, that's done through Homeland Security, where Otis Elevator, like in this building, for example, we are paid in full license-wise through 17. We haven't paid 18 as of yet. And they just worked on this elevator within the last 30 days. So, I mean, it's not that it's an unsafe thing. It's more of a money thing more than anything, so.
And the last thing I passed out to the board, and you'll start to hear a lot about this, we have all of our wastewater is treated by Citizens Energy, and I received a certified letter from them today, and they are in the process of petitioning the IURC for another rate increase. So we have, I wanted to start talking about it publicly because we have held the line on raising sewer rates because it's just, nobody wants to raise sewer rates. And, we all pay the sewer bill too. So we are not going to have any choice because they are going to bill us for the treatment of wastewater. And next year, those fees can go up as high as $170,000, $180,000. So the city cannot afford to absorb that. So over the next couple of months, you will be hearing more about this, and then we will be presenting a ordinance to the council sometime this fall to talk about adjusting the rates. And it's nothing that anyone sitting here has done. It's the fact that we are going to have to pay more for the treatment of wastewater. So it's unpopular, but we will meet it head on, and go from there. So, comments from board members?
I have none.
None about citizens.
Okay. If not, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Before we adjourn real quick, I just wanted to get I didn't know if you were wanting to talk about citizens or we're done with the meeting. So, just a huge kudos to the Promoters Club, police, fire, DPW, Parks Department, all the people who volunteered and all the planners for that fall festival. It was a really good fall festival, and just a kudos to everyone who helped make that happen.
I thought it was pretty good. Motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make said motion.
I second.
The meeting is adjourned at 6:24 PM. Thank you very much.